Sydney.
I'm Lieutenant Clarissa.
I'm Lieutenant Julia.
And I'm Lieutenant Maddie.
Make sure that whenever you're doing a double, you point your foot, pull up your passe, and spot.
Whenever you're practicing your triple, your spot becomes very important, and it is also key to make sure your arms lock in. As you go for more turns, your spot becomes even more important, so make sure you whip your head up. So for your left and right splits, you want to make sure that your front foot and toe is pointed, your back toe is also pointed, and that you're sitting on top of your hips. Maddie, for example, is doing everything right with her back leg, but she is flexing her toes on her front foot, and she is not on top of her hips. So what she needs to do is point her front foot and then put her hands on the ground and shift, so that way she can be on top of her hips and in the correct split. Now Julia over here is in her splits, her posture is good, but neither of her feet are pointed, so make sure your feet are pointed. If you don't have your split, it's okay, just support yourself with your hands, but make sure you have good technique. Okay, so for an axle turn, these are not required to make the team, but in order to be an officer, you need to have one. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna do chaîné. I'm gonna do high chaîné, low chaîné, just for a good prep. You go high chaîné, low chaîné. Your right leg is gonna pick up like it's in a calypso, except it's only gonna come here, and your body's rotating at the same time, so you're turning, and you're gonna bend that leg, and your bottom leg is gonna jump. Okay, I'm gonna show you what it looks like fast. Okay, so while you do that, you make sure that you jump up with a pointed toe and that your leg that's rotating around connects into a passe, so you look like this.
Since you were required to have a calypso whenever we were doing tryouts, we're just going to focus on the technique aspect of it all. So your goal for a calypso is to have this in the air with your foot pointed, your back leg in an attitude, and also pointed, and your posture should be up. The arms differ sometimes, but this is how I'm going to show you.
For Russian leap, there's a few how not to's, you know, like how to and how not to. For a Russian, you don't want to seesaw, so you don't want to do that, okay? So both of your legs should be hitting in the air at the same time. You should look like this in air. If you're really flexible, your legs will be slightly up, you know, we'll work with it, okay? So this is what it should look like.
So similar to a Russian, your goal is to be flat and a middle split whenever you're doing a toe touch. If not, then maybe extended, and then if you're not there yet, then just have good posture and that both of your feet are pointed. This will also be used in palm.
When you are doing a tilt, make sure your posture is straight and you are trying to get your back foot off the ground as much as possible. And you're also not leaning with your leg to make a weird angle.
For a floor leap, you're gonna start with your right leg straight and pointed, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna use your left leg that's bent to push off into your floor leap. So whenever you're doing that, you're push off and make a fan motion to land and come up if you're standing. So this is what it should look like.
We do two different types of floor leaps. One Maddie already demonstrated. The second one we do in our field streamer. Probably never to be used again, but it's okay. We want to get it down really well. So what you're going to do, same principle, you are going to jump onto this leg. The difference is you are not trying to land on your feet. You are trying to land on your knees. So you won't fully fan it around. You'll just bend it like that, like so. All right? I'm gonna show you. You'll still push off your left leg too, so make sure that you get a good prep before you hop up, okay? Here goes. Hey guys, so for middle splits, you wanna make sure that you're all the way over your hips, that your toes are pointed, but not pointing at the ground, like don't break your foot like that. If you are close enough to the ground, your chest is on the ground, you can reach forward, you can tuck your arms under you, whatever. What you don't wanna do is lean forward like this. Your weight should be directly over your feet and your hips, not into your hands. You can use your hands to support you, but the goal is to push your feet further apart so your hips can get the stretch. When doing extensions, make sure that you are not bending your bottom leg or sickling your foot at the top, and you want to make sure that your posture is up instead of sideways, like so. Arms can vary, but just make sure that you have the basic techniques, which are straight knees, turned out supporting foot, and a pointed top foot that is not sickled.
So when doing a turning Russian, your goal is to try to hit this position in the air, and this if you're like trying to go for something even more. So you're gonna do a low shinny typically to get into it, but right now I'm gonna do a high shinny, low shinny. And whenever you're doing that, I tend to kind of direct my shinny more focused toward the front, because that helps whenever you do the turning Russian, that your hips are squared to the front and not to the side.
When you're doing a Firebird, your goal is to see your toes up here, like whenever you're in the Firebird, and your bottom foot is to be pointed out.
Okay, so for our left Firebird, it's the same principle that Julia said. You want to make sure that your left leg is really trying to get off the ground and you're trying to see your right leg. Don't be alarmed if your left Firebird is not as good as your right Firebird. We usually do right, so don't panic if it's not as good. Make sure when doing a leg hold that your bottom leg is straight and turned out, so that way you can get a good base. You hold the back of your ankle like this, and you don't let your foot sickle in the air. You want to make sure that it's pointed straight up, and it should just look like a straight line, like this. So for turns in second, I have to give a more in-depth tutorial of this. You're going to step, prep, you're going to turn around like so, almost a single but not quite, and when you get to this corner, you're going to open up your leg directly beside you, and your arms follow, okay? And at the same time, you're dropping your heel. This is as slow as I can go. You drop your heel, and you're whipping your leg around and your arms, and you do a clean turn out of it. 5, 6, prep, 7, 8. 1,